Welcome back to the show. Christine and Cara are about to share top tips to have a better conversation. But before they do, we asked on our Facebook page to tag the best conversationalist you know. Karen tagged her friend Michaela, a great listener who always seems genuinely interested in the conversation. She gives her undivided attention. And we also heard from Pamela, who commented, "Can I tag myself? I just love to talk with people." Now let's take a look at what not to do in a conversation with someone new.
谢谢，谢谢。
Please tell me you speak English. I'm Detective Carter. Do you speak any English? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh, no, no. Oh, that's a no-no, Miss Cara.
Don't you feel like that sometimes when you're in a conversation, you're like, just pay attention to what I'm saying?
I love that. I love the viewer that said, can I tag myself?
I know.
That is very sweet.
It
because,
is.
Hey, she recognizes that that's a gift of hers.
Yeah. My friend Bobby wrote on my page that her listening skills are her superpower, which I also liked.
Wow.
She said, I get people open up to me because I just give off this very open vibe.
Yes.
I was like, that's nice.
You know, shout out to Jim's friend, who reminds me we haven't seen.
Yes.
His friend Lisa Sereno. We call her
Hi,
Pee-wee,
Lisa.
or he did. I don't call her Pee-wee. Call her Lisa. But she is always like the best listener, and there really is an art to it.
Sure.
But then sometimes I feel like, now do you ever feel like people who are really good listeners can also be kind of guarded and that they don't necessarily want to share stuff about themselves? Because conversation is give and take.
Right. Well, a good conversation should be an open exchange of thoughts, opinions, and ideas. But while I was reading the tips that you're supposed to do and not do, I thought, well, if both people are adhering to this, nobody's going to ever say anything.
Right.
You know?
Right, exactly.
It'd be a little tricky.
Okay, so let's dive right in.
Okay,
What
so the
makes
first
it
one
perfect?
is to listen and be brief. Okay, so the core foundation of every conversation involves active listening. They said in the article it's the hardest yet most important thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, really paying attention, hearing what somebody's listening closely to what they're saying.
Yes.
It's hard not to get distracted. And being more concerned about what you're going to say. Really listen.
Right. Which I think for you might be a little bit of an occupational hazard, because I bet it's hard for you to not feel like you have to interject sometimes when people are, because in your job you have to do that a lot. When people are, might be faltering for a word to say when you're just trying to help somebody connect their thoughts.
Sometimes, socially, I'll be like, let me jump in. Yeah. I don't need to.
Right.
Necessarily.
Right. But you do, no, you kind of do.
Sometimes I do hear. If I can see somebody get this, I know the look, where they've completely forgot their train of thought. You do well. You're a great conversationalist yourself. So you just want to jump in and help because you know that they're...
Sure. Well, the article is a little harsh on people doing that, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's skip to the second one, because I already talked about my friend Bobby. Okay, so the second one is no multitasking, but... So don't have your phone out, don't be easily distracted. But they do say to use body language, because body language speaks volumes, to use your hand or facial expressions. And I thought this was interesting. They said the most common and culturally universal symbol is to just do a raised eyebrow.
A raised eyebrow?
I cannot do that.
I can't do it either.
But my friend Casey can do both eyebrows.
And I just got Botox on Monday from Dr. Jean Chapman. So I won't be able to do it next week at all, period. I'll be like, what? I'm raising my eyebrows.
Other body language, like lean in.
No, I did say I still want some movement, just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Because, well, first of all, I mean, it's definitely one, the Botox is another discussion, but facial having expression, and really, that is part of what I feel like helps people like know that they're being supported and encouraged. Like, you're on the right track, keep going.
I used to have this face that I really worked on, because when people would be talking and sometimes I'd be confused, I would do this a lot. So and with my mouth open. That's so unattractive.
But it was just genuine. It was coming from, you were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and so then my mother would be like, close your mouth.
Then you had to, sometimes Trent snaps a photo of you on the Real Talk table and you're like, and it's usually directed at me, but you know what? I'm like, she's probably right at that moment, going, what?
No,
come on now.
It's just my face. I can't help it.
No, that's
the next one is, and this is one that I love to use, is use open-ended questions. So a lot of people don't do this, but instead of asking questions that facilitate a yes or no answer, say like, why did you feel that way, or how did it go? And then give them a moment to stop and think, and then it will ultimately relay better conversation, because you're both doing a give and take kind of thing.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
This next one is also, we kind of touched on it before because of our jobs, but to go with the flow of conversation. Don't change the subject abruptly, even if you have a strong opinion or you want to bring up something that pops into your head, because they say it's more important to keep the conversation going in the way that it's going. And if you have a thought that veers off topic too much, it's just best to forget it. That's what the article says. Yes.
Just forget it.
Yes.
Wow, interesting.
I know it is interesting. I don't know. I like to hear what people are thinking, even if I don't agree with it.
Right.
Even if you just agree with people all the time, it's so boring.
Exactly. I mean,
Right?
how vanilla. If everybody just has the same thoughts and same opinions. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be combative, but
Right.
it's nice to bring different sides into issues.
Exactly. Now, I'm sorry. I just peeked ahead to number 5,
Okay.
which I do all the time. If you're of a certain age, this tends to happen.
Well, it says, try not to repeat yourself. Repeating yourself is condescending. It's boring. Don't do it. This is according to the article, especially at work or conversations with your children. But I'm like, how many times do you only say something to your child one time? Never.
Never. Okay, I disagree.
You have to say at least 25 times.
100% disagree about the children. And really, in just other everyday life, I think I might have forgotten to tell that I just told you that yesterday. Or so, and again, I think that that's just like a sign of aging. I mean, I'll work on it, but I don't know. I don't know how much better I'll be.
Well, also, if your friend is telling you something repeatedly, and I'm sure it's not in a condescending way, but if they are, then just say, "Oh my gosh, you already told me that."
Yes.
That's okay to say.
I do that with
somebody.
my mom too. She's like, "You are not going to believe what happened." I'm like, "I know, Mom. Nope. I talked to you yesterday, and you told me that you couldn't get." Hold on.
Yes.
Quick sidebar.
Yeah.
She got her ring stuck on her finger because
no.
her arthritis is really acting
Okay.
up. She tried everything. Finally, when all else failed, she went to the fire department.
They got it off?
They got it off.
What did they do?
They just have some, you know, they're just so wonderful there.
Right.
But all I could see is my little tiny mom just wandering in going, I'm having a crisis. Yeah.
Oh.
But she told me that story 2, possibly 3 times. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, that was a big event for her.
Yes.
But it is terrifying when you get something stuck on your fingers and you can't get it off and you're like, I'm going to have to cut off my hand.
Exactly.
Like you just go to one extreme.
But yeah. So, but she told, it was cute. She told me, but of course,
Right.
and it's a cute story. I'm willing to hear it again.
Yeah.
I don't think it's condescending at all. It's just, it's part of, as I
Right.
mentioned, the aging process. You're inevitably going to interrupt.
Sure.
You don't mean to. You're excited, and you might repeat yourself.
Or maybe you've had a few drinks and you call your friends and you tell them a story and then you forget about it the next day.
Have I done that recently?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying it's okay if you did.
All right.
It's okay.
Exactly. Okay.
This next one is interesting too because I think people have a hard time with this. I do a little bit, but it says like basically if you have a similar experience as someone, not to tell them like, oh, so I lost a family member. Oh, when I lost my family member. Or my work is hard. And then you say, oh, but my job is so hard. When you're trying to maybe relate to somebody, but they say not to do it because it's not a promotional opportunity for yourself to speak about how much you've suffered or how bad your job is. Your job is to listen to your friend.
Now, I agree. You definitely don't want to one-up or try to seem like you're one-upping in the conversation. But sometimes you really are just trying to relate. I know, when my mom passed, or when Ann passed, I'll tell that story sometimes if somebody's, and I guess it could look like you're, I don't know.
It doesn't annoy me when people do that.
I don't.
In fact, when my father did pass away, it almost gave me comfort when other people would write me and be like, look, it doesn't get easy. You know, whatever advice they had, I was like taking it all in because I was like, I've never been through this. I don't know. What do you do?
Like anything, just kind of keep it in moderation. Like try to catch it. Now that you've said this, and we've talked about it, I think on Real Talk a little bit. You know, I'll try to catch myself. Because you're right, you don't want to hijack the story, but I also feel like you're just trying to be relatable.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Tell us what you think. We don't know.
Last
maybe we could be totally wrong. Okay, the next one is don't pontificate, because true listening requires you to set aside your personal opinions for a bit. And they also say you need to be not so aggressive because then obviously the person will become defensive and your conversation will halt instead of flourishing.
Yeah. You want to just, be open. Right. Be open. I think that at the end of the day, it's truly about listening and with kindness and enthusiasm and really showing that you care.
I know. Sometimes it's hard. I care about you too.
Get over here right now. It is hard.
We get to eat pizza in a little bit.
Oh my God, we do. I forgot about Papa John's. Yes. Okay,